Welcome to the Halloween edition, where we find out, somewhat unsurprisingly, that I'm not very spooky. So, not only am I not very spooky, I'm also not that great at Halloween, it turns out. I gave myself a cracking sugar headache, eating all the prop lollies, trying to figure out what I was going to draw for this episode. But that aside, it is my favourite seasonal time of year to draw themed drawings. We will disregard the fact that I am in the southern hemisphere in Australia, where I'm looking out on a flowering garden, chirping birds, little baby ducklings getting around everywhere. If you've been here for a while, you know that I love all things Americana, and Halloween is the most fun. So I was trying to think of a spooky tale to tell as a bit of a story time while these drawings come to life. And I have nary a one. Not a ghost encounter, not a cryptid, not even some strange lights in the sky. Nothing. And when I really thought about it, tried to think of times when I'd felt cold fear in the pit of my stomach, shivers creeping up my spine, goosebumps, anything. The only times I've encountered that, it's always been an animal outside in the dark. Exhibit A is my neighbour's bull, who, when he bellows, sounds like a human screaming for help. The first time I heard him bellowing at night, it took me a few minutes to work out what was going on, and I definitely had that chill of fear in my stomach when I first heard that sound. Exhibit B is possums. If you've ever watched The Exorcist or a movie like The Ring, I don't really know. I don't watch many scary movies because obviously I'm a bit of a wimp. But any movie where they do that sort of sped up, creepy scramble crawl thing, if you ever watch one of those movies and then go to sleep and then are awoken at like 2 a.m. by a possum bounding on a tin roof, it is terrifying because it sounds exactly like a possessed little girl is demon scrambling along your roof. Oh, and more on possums. About 2-3 years ago, I woke up at about 2 a.m. from a really peaceful sleep. It's very quiet where I live. I'm out on a farm, so you don't really hear much noise at night. My neighbour's bull, night creatures, bandicoots, crickets, some birds. What I don't usually hear is someone at the screen door scratching and picking, trying to get it open. And when I heard that sound, I froze. I pulled the covers up, hoped that it would stop and go away and that I wouldn't have to think about it anymore. But unfortunately, I did at the time have a 3-year-old son who I'm bound to protect, I guess. So I gathered up all my courage, crept out to the kitchen, flicked on the kitchen light, and there it was, hanging on the screen door. Possum, these big furry balls mushed up against the screen. That's what you get for leaving ripe mangoes on the countertop in summertime and not closing the doors. Terrifying for a little bit, but definitely not spooky. And patently ridiculous when you see what possums look like when they hang on a screen door. Oh, and my final animal spooky tale. If you come to visit Australia from overseas, or like me, you come from an area in Australia where koalas are rare, the first time you go camping in a place with a significant koala population, be warned. We used to camp at a place called Cobram on the Murray River, which is a beautiful remote campground out in the eucalyptus scrub. And the first time we heard koalas at night, I had that sensation of bodily freeze. So terrified. I thought it was men fighting violently. And it was so funny because you wake up in the morning and jumped out of the tent to try and sort of see what it might have been in the safety of daylight. And up in the tallest eucalyptus tree on the riverbank, sitting in the morning sun, basking in the morning sun, was a big furry creature. So cute, so difficult to reconcile with the sounds that it had been making the night before. They are very unusual creatures. Not spooky, but definitely spooky at midnight when you're camping in a tent. Back to Halloween drawings. I usually like to do a digital illustration suite each year, and I just didn't get the time this year, but I did do a little bit of scribbling on the iPad. I didn't film much of the process, but I thought I'd share a little bit with you and share the finished products as well, just because they have no other place to go at the moment. I don't know where these guys will end up, but they were damn fun to draw. And lastly, a little bit of spooky crafting in the sketchbook. I had a few pages where the alcohol markers had ink bled through, and I wanted to do a little bit of collage-y kind of stuff. Also, I'm rushing to get to the end of this sketchbook. I'm nearly done and I want to do a tour and I want to finish it. So I thought I'd do a bit of collage because it takes up the space really quickly. Also, this whole little project is very much inspired by Angela Dean. If you're not familiar with her work, definitely look her up. She does the cutest of cute, vintagey, retro-y kind of old photos, and she paints little ghosts over all the people in the pictures, and they are just beautiful. So I was going for a bit of that vibe too. I thought I'd use this vellum kind of transparent, translucent paper, and it kind of worked on some and it didn't work on others. The ones with the lighter backgrounds, I had to bring out the pencils and the Poscas to try and ghost them up a little bit more. But all in all, it was pretty fun little exercise and just nice to do something a little bit different. Anyway, happiest of Halloweens to you. I hope that you find something spooky and fun to do. I'll keep looking for that spooky encounter that's not just a loud animal. We'll see how I go.